Welcome to the Referee Lounge. I'm your host, Keith Scott, and thank you for tuning in to our show. The Referee Lounge is about youth soccer in the United States and all the various dynamics surrounding the sport, and how those dynamics affect the parents, the players, the coaches, the referees, the club administrators, as well as the association administrators, and what we all can do to grow the sport going forward. During our first episode, we're going to be talking with you about youth soccer at the national level. So, let's begin. The three primary organizations in the United States are the U.S. Soccer Development Academy, the United States Club Soccer, and the United States Youth Soccer. First, let's talk about the Development Academy. They started a boys division in 2007 and later expanded to a ladies division in 2018. They work with more large established clubs throughout the U.S. Many of those clubs are associated with MLS teams. The Development Academy allows their clubs to play on a more regional and a national level, which gives their players a lot more exposure. Next, we're going to talk about United States Club Soccer. This organization has three branches. Their primary branch is the ECNL, Elite Club National League. Many of you may have heard of it. They started in 2009 with a women's division and later expanded into a boys division in 2017. Similar to DA, they work with large established clubs to develop players to play on a regional and a national level, and many of those clubs are affiliated with MLS teams. The next branch is the National Players League. This branch allows smaller clubs that are building their brand and developing the players as they believe will help them to play on a regional and a national level. This branch allows those clubs to play other clubs in a state, sometimes regionally, depends on your geographics around the country, to play at that level and then move on to play into a national tournament, which gives those players more exposure to different types of coaching styles around the country. The NPL will also have some of the larger clubs that'll have teams in the NPL. So you may see a FC Dallas or a Orlando FC playing in the NPL. Next, you have the Elite National Players League. This is a new, fairly new structure, new branch, where the U.S. club is bringing the ECNL boys and the NPL boys together to compete in more regional events as well as nationally. So they will meet in, say, tournaments as well as in regional style league play. So it gives them more exposure and more competitive opportunities around the country. Next, we have the United States Youth Soccer. This organization is affiliated with U.S. Soccer. However, for purposes of our conversation, we're going to talk with them almost separately, just so we can talk about what they bring to youth soccer. First, they are overseers of the Olympic Development Program in their area. Next, they take care of the Champions League, President's Cup, and they also have a pretty big administrative function that they carry out in your state. But for purposes of our video, our show, we're going to talk about the Champions League and administrative functions. The Champions League, many of you know as the state championship. This is where all of the teams from your area come together and compete to find out who the state champion will be at every age group and every gender. Once the state champion has been awarded, that team will move on to a United States Youth Regional Championship, and then the winner of that will go on into a national championship. I like this league because it brings all of the teams together. You'll find ECNL, DA, NPL, local clubs, all of them be together, fighting it out to find out who's the best. Next, we're going to talk about some of the administrative functions. These member states oversee the rules and regulations that are passed down by the USSF, United States Soccer Federation. So they'll keep track with red cards. They'll make sure the referees have met their training criteria to be a ref for one, and then to maintain their referee status. They'll also, carry on some of the other functions as far as making sure tournaments are sanctioned and everyone is following the rules. So there's a lot more involved in that. So we recommend you go out and you do a little research for yourselves. So let's recap. We've talked about the United States Soccer Development Academy. We've talked about U.S. Club Soccer, and we've talked about United States Youth Soccer. I want to leave you guys with a question. Now that DA and ECNL have boys and girls divisions, do you think they're competing for talent, or will this create more opportunity for player development? Send us your ideas, your thoughts about this question. Thank you for tuning in to the Referee Lounge. During our next episode, we'll be talking about soccer at the local level, GOT soccer, high school, and tournaments. So please subscribe below. That way you'll be one of the first to know when the next episode is available for viewing. And until then, remember, play until you hear the whistle.